First time in a long time. But when we were side by side, beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. And this is BDElite.
BDElite. BDElite.
Whoa, none of that. We don't want to get another cease and desist from a different
we do.
country.
Fuck it, bring it.
You think they'd give us one?
We invented it.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the show. We are the NXT show, Up Next, but we do Up Nextra every week that we have changed to BDElite. And if you're listening to us or watching us perhaps on twitch.tv/upnextpodcast, we go live after NXT every Wednesday night around 10:15. But going forward for a little while, we're going to be doing our BDElite shows live on Twitch around 1 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays. So come check us out and hang out with us. All the stuff, all the wrestling.
It's a nice time for our friends in Europe.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I can tell that the UK people, because they love wrestling over there, I checked our Podbean thing to see where listeners were. I was like, a lot of UK people. Well, we already knew that, I think. But yeah, Thursdays during the afternoon for us. I don't know, maybe it's the evening for you over there. So maybe
6 p.m., yeah.
So you
sit down for dinner after work and you throw on some BDElite.
Yeah, exactly. So welcome. Last night we talked about NXT and we both thought it was a pretty good show.
Yeah, I really liked last night. I thought it was very solid.
Solid week of wrestling. Solid night of wrestling for NXT. They got the whole Dusty Cup going on. As predicted, Timothy Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa, they seem to be a team. They chased each other out in the parking lot afterwards and were like, hey, there's a spot open.
It was very dramatic.
It was.
It was like, I'm waiting for them to hook up now.
Yeah. Oh, did someone just call you?
I think someone just did something. What is this? Bad 911 is now hosting my stream.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hey,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bad 911. Yeah, see, the Twitch world is a totally different world we're not super familiar with, but we've been going on, doing these post shows and doing some gaming and stuff on there. So, Big Bird, BD champion. Not
anymore. Toriano.
Yeah, but like...
Big Bird, he'll have another go at it.
Yeah, probably. If Jordan has anything to say about it.
Oh, yeah.
So what's going on before we jump into some NXT?
What's going on?
What's going on in our exciting lives?
We stayed up way too late last night.
For no reason.
Considering we're not really partying or anything, we just stayed up late. We watched some Florida Georgia line.
Yeah, I had to convince you that Tyler Rust from NXT looks like this guy. He doesn't really, but like he just dresses like him.
What was the other guy I put on right at the end of the night? I'm trying to find his name. Drake White.
Drake White.
Yeah, we wanted some country. Yeah, I guess.
We were reminiscing about just visiting Nashville. I
like Nashville.
Because I don't know how we started talking about Nashville, but we started going off about Nashville, and then I played some Florida Georgia line, which doesn't represent the country music people. Like someone right now.
Also, the name is Florida and Georgia, and we're talking about going to Tennessee. Sure.
Yeah. Well, they're like huge country pop, but then I played some Old Dominion, and then you put on some Drake White. I've never heard of that guy, but
yeah, I saw him in
Nashville.
I think Nashville or Memphis. Okay. I saw this dude.
Yeah, there's something about the...
What I liked when we were watching his thing, like we've got on our screen here, little plug, patreon.com/upnext, prowrestlingtees.com/upnext. Drake White just had paypal.com/Drake White, venmo.com/ it's like, what, you just want us to send you money?
You mean we should get a Venmo?
Why not?
We're Canadian technically, so
we don't have Venmo.
We can't get Venmo or Cash App or send a Cash App. We can't get that. So we have PayPal and stuff, which is not as fun. But
is it not?
No.
Is any of it fun?
sending money, I mean, it's pretty fun.
No, it's not. Getting money.
Getting money. Yeah, I mean, receiving money is fun. I think I'm in a Nashville mood because we're doing our Royal Rumble top 5 moments that's coming out tomorrow on the Patreon. But we've been watching so many old school Royal Rumbles. Like me and you have just been watching a few Rumble matches from history. And then we also have to watch the Royal Rumble 95 for Up Yours with Jason Hagholm out this weekend as well. So we've just been watching so many like old Royal Rumbles, and we keep seeing fucking Jeff Jarrett, Double J come out.
He's in all of them.
And
the Godwins.
Yeah. And it's like, Jeff Jarrett with the roadie and all that. And we even got to see Double J Jesse James when the roadie moves on to become that character. But that's why we're in the Nashville mood, I think.
I'm always in a Nashville mood,
yeah?
to be honest.
You don't listen to country music, though.
Don't tell me what I don't listen to. I don't listen to music full stop anymore.
Yeah, true.
It kind of work burnt me out from music.
Right.
That sounds really sad, but it's true.
Wow.
Like it stresses me out too much, music.
I think
a lot of the time.
I was trying to convince you that like going to see a Florida Georgia Lion just drunk on our asses would be great.
I'd see anything live.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Even see that kid Drake that people keep going on about.
Drake?
No, I wouldn't.
His new album is supposed to come out, and people are mad.
It's fire.
People are mad. He didn't put it out. He's like, I gotta focus on me. I can't put this out.
Hey, like it'll come out when it's ready and good enough and sound just like all the others. I'm sure.
So, imagine Drake puts on this free concert, and everyone in the Toronto is invited. You won't go? It's free?
Probably not. No.
What?
No.
Why not? If everyone has vaccines.
I don't like him.
Oh, so you'd just be the one guy sitting at home.
I don't know the words. Yeah, it would be great. Have a place to myself.
You're sitting at home already.
Huh?
You're already sitting at home.
Yeah, but I can do what I want.
I can do what I want.
Yeah, no one will know because they're
right.
all at the Drake concert.
I think that artists, obviously, they're gonna want to make money when they come back and stuff. But artists have been doing at home concerts and stuff. But I feel like there needs to be some like big when the world's fine, like minimum 2 to 3 years here. The world's just gonna have the craziest like street parties, and everyone should just be fucking everyone. It'll be crazy.
It'll be great. Yeah. Talking of artists.
Yeah.
We watched some Neil Buchanan late last night.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this artist named Neil Buchanan, but yes, we watched Art Attack, which was huge over here in Canada. Like the reruns just aired throughout the 90s. Obviously, he's a Brit, but when was this actually like made? Early 90s, right?
Mid 90s. I watched it.
Yeah.
This was the kids' TV I watched.
Yeah.
As it came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, mid 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
He had an off day. I think the episode we watched. It felt like he turned up to work with a hangover and was like, I haven't prepared anything.
He was busy at the Drake concert.
I'm gonna make some photo frames for who was it? Linford Christie, a duck,
and Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, made out of sponges.
It wasn't that artsy.
He just like cut up a sponge and stuck it around.
It wasn't that. Yeah, it wasn't.
That wasn't great. And then he made
boxes.
He made did his big art attack with boxes.
Like Egyptian.
His boss wanted him to stack some boxes, and he was like, "Fuck you, man! I'm gonna make a big art attack," and stole all the boxes.
Yeah.
From this warehouse. Then he did droopy letters and stuff.
Like
he was
blood
like,
leather.
Draw a normal letter and then make it droopy.
He taught us how to draw the Scott Hall gear logos.
Yeah.
In drippy letters. Yeah, it wasn't much of I didn't learn anything.
It wasn't the best art attack from Neil.
This is an art attack?
This is an art attack.
This is
art attack.
I think I could watch this guy.
That was the opening to one of our very early shows.
It's true.
We started with the art attack thing. Yeah.
It was a NXT hangover, and we decided to just
watch art attack.
Because
that's when they were really hangovers. Nothing happened.
Yeah. Well, I think it's soothing watching a guy just do art. I like Bob Ross. I don't know if that's a thing over where you're from, but Bob Ross is huge, like in the States and here, where he just.
Why do we need Bob Ross when we got Neil Buchanan?
No, it's different though. I think you need to give him a shot.
I think Bob Ross was more the equivalent of our Rolf Harris, who is very much cancelled now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bob Ross isn't.
Okay.
I mean, he's dead, but he's not cancelled.
Right.
He's loved. He just like paints something. And he's pretty good, and you can go along with him. But then he like talks to you while he's doing it, and he just basically gives you. After watching, you either wipe a tear away from your eye or you're ready to face the world. And I think there needs to be more people like.
I like the ones where you don't know what they're doing until it's just finished.
Yeah,
you're
true.
Like, it looks like a mess. What are you painting? And then it's like,
doing?
Oh, it's a dog.
I'm an artsy person, but I'm not very good at painting or drawing. But I appreciate a good art.
Yeah.
We need some art. We're going to talk about some art.
We've got enough art. We don't have room for it.
We're going to talk about art, though, on this episode of AEW Dynamite.
Are we?
Yeah, I mean, there's an oil painting that we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
She ain't no oil painting.
Yes, there is.
How could you forget about the oil painting? So I guess we'll get into it. And that, of course, is AEW Dynamite from January 20th, 2021. And we start the show with a birthday celebration because -1, Brody Jr., he celebrated a birthday this week, so they thought they'd have a nice little party for him here on the air with a match of the Dark Order teaming with Hangman against, Chaos Project.
Chaos Project, yes. Serpentico and Luther.
TH2. But it all starts off with the Dark Order out here on the entrance ramp with John Silver cutting a promo, and he says, "Tonight is a special night. The Dark Order might be getting a new recruit." Well, we are getting a new recruit in Hangman. That handsome devil, Hangman Page. Second of all, it's somebody's birthday. And then he has a cake here for -1, and he says, "Looking at all this cake is making Johnny hungry." And then they all sing happy birthday, but they're interrupted by Luther, who comes out, and I don't know if I've ever heard this guy talk, but wow. Luther says, well, what is this? We don't care. This place has become a daycare center. So shut up, Punky Brewster. And they showed clips of -1 shit-talking Luther like last week on Dark, I think it was, where he called Luther a stupid face. And they all sold it like he said like the worst thing.
Yeah.
Excalibur's like, I don't know how he's going to recover from this. Luther says, "You want to flap your gums and say, 'I look stupid'?" And then the crowd chants, "You look stupid." And he's like, "Shut up. My face is perfectly symmetrical. You're the stupid one. You're a doofus. And you know what? Chaos Project do not like children." This pisses John Silver off, and he attacks Luther, and it's an all-out brawl. TH2 show up, and they move it down into the ring, and out comes Hangman Page, who walks down the ramp, and as he does, he goes, "What the fuck is going on?" Yeah. As he comes into the ring, and the match starts off here. TH2, Luther and Serpentico, Chaos Project, versus the Dark Order, which is Hangman Page. It was
Alex Reynolds, John Silver, Colt Cabana, and
Colt
Hangman.
Cabana, right, that's right.
Yeah.
And here we go. Luther actually hit some wrestling moves in here. I know we give him shit for that one time he wrestled with Jericho, but he's hitting a butterfly suplex in here. He's showing people, I can wrestle. Hangman tags in eventually, boots everyone in the face, hits a crazy like deadlift to an overhead throw on Serpentico here. And then like there's topes. He tags in Silver, who does his like Cesaro Jr. hot tag here where he's running European uppercutting everybody.
Great at this.
Yeah, it's just nuts. Hangman does a fallaway slam and then slips on his kip up and then goes, no, I got this. But lands to his feet, which allows him to eventually hit the like golden triangle moonsault to the outside. We have Jack Evans, who gets a near fall by hitting a 450 splash, not quite like Casey Catanzaro. But then it's broken up. Luther gets... like he goes up to the ramp area and he's about to put someone through like the table with the cake, but -1 uses the cane and swings it at his head, which allows him to get put through the table here, I think by Alex Reynolds. In the ring, there's then...
Well, no, he goes through the cake.
Right, sorry.
Face first in
it
the
was
cake.
like, I know this is all fun, but it was such a bad cake spot. Like he literally went like this and then he stopped and realized he wasn't in the cake.
The positioning was all wrong.
Yeah.
They had to do it from the kendo stick strike, so it was, but whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. Steve Aoki. So he goes through the cake and the table, and in the ring there's a buckshot, lariat, bridging German suplex combo, and then Alex Reynolds flies over to hit like a jackknife pin, and the Dark Order win the match here to celebrate -1 Brody Jr.'s birthday, and then. After the match, -1 goes, "My birthday was 3 days ago, idiots," and then throws papers at everyone. Yeah.
I liked it. It was silly, but I think it completely worked for what it was. It's Brody's birthday, and I think everyone is behind this kid. So I think this must have been so much fun for him to have done, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pantomime. The whole thing was a pantomime with a wrestling match in the middle, and I thought Luther actually played that kind of villain in the pantomime style very well. Like, come on, this isn't going to work in any other situation in wrestling, but for this, it did. And Hangman looking like a star, just showing that he's head and shoulders above all these guys, but he likes these dudes. He likes hanging out with them. But when he gets going, you can see he's like leagues ahead of everyone else. I thought this was pretty fun.
I really thought it was sweet to do this for Brody Jr. And yeah, like it was a fine match, but there's silly stuff going on. But the real good part, I think, comes at this.
I love that finish as well with the buckshot into the German and the bridge. Yeah. I thought it was very cool.
It's like a whole train of events to pin a guy, and it's like, yeah, pretty crazy. So after this, the Dark Order, John Silver and Alex Reynolds are in the ring, and the rest of them are like on the ramp, like egging them on, like waiting. And they say, Adam Page. Oh, and Silver says, "You're such a good wrestler. You're such a good wrestler. You're so handsome, and you have such nice hair. You're so handsome. But it's time. We have to ask." And then John Silver kneels down as if he's proposing to Hangman, and says, "Will you join the Dark Order?" Because they've been pushing this question since last week. They want an answer. And Hangman has a microphone, and he says, "I can't." But as he says it, someone in the Dark Order fires off the celebration. The explosions go off. The ramp drops down these banners that says "He said yes." All these people come out on the stage in Dark Order masks, celebrating, confetti everywhere. And then John Silver's like eyes like bug out, and he's like X-nay on the X-nay. He's like, what do you mean you can't? And they're all shocked that he said no. And he says, "Look, it's nothing against you guys. You guys are great, and I've enjoyed tagging with you a few times here and there. But I did the whole group thing, and it just didn't work out. I can't do it again. I'm sorry." And he walks off. And as he's leaving, we had Stu Grayson out there with obviously a brand new bottle of Jack for Hangman, and he takes it off the table and he walks down a tunnel and leaves Dark Order just all standing there like heartbroken, left at the altar.
Yeah. I thought this was great. I think it's building to him surely eventually palling up with them again. Yeah, who'd have thought it? If a year ago you were telling me we're going to want to see Hangman Page join the Dark Order, I'd have told you you're crazy.
That's right.
But I'm really enjoying this. I think they've managed to naturally just babyface Dark Order so well. I love that Brody. Do you want to slurp that any louder?
Sorry.
Yeah, you've got Brody Jr., who is basically just playing his dad now, which I think is pretty fun.
In his jacket.
In his jacket and everything. And yeah, I think, apparently the room saying Page left through the heel tunnel.
He did.
As well.
He went through the other side.
Interesting.
I think it's funny that they're using specifically John Silver. To me is so good. He's leagues above people on the mic instantly, and he's only been doing this like shtick for about a year, like under a year. So it's like just crazy how well he's improved. He clearly knows his comedy because I think he's taking things from things. I'm like, where do I know this from? And then I watch some comedy. I'm like, from certain movies and stuff. But he's spot on. And the fact that Hangman, the acting here was like, I'm sorry, and like he's genuinely
he's been
like
burnt too many times. Yeah. He doesn't trust anyone anymore. This was so everyone
good.
Leaves him, so he just doesn't want to be heartbroken again.
It's true. We've all been there. I think he's the most relatable wrestler going. Last year, that was instantly that. Like the whole like he's drinking and his friends and there's whole issues there. Like it was so well done.
But I feel it's got to build to eventually like what Hangman helping these guys win the tag titles or something like that. There's got to be some payoff we eventually get to. But I'm digging the story so far.
I think that's where it goes. Maybe they go up against the Bucks eventually, and Hangman's got like the inside edge on that, or who knows. But it could be Silver and Hangman as challengers,
or if they ever do these 6-man.
Yeah, the trios titles.
The trios titles, maybe.
There's definitely something there. But I thought this was so, like, set aside the match, but this actually after-match segment was so well done with them trying to do the celebration, but then it's, like, faked out, and he says no. But this was great. I think this is my favorite thing on this episode.
I kind of think this whole opening bit was the best thing.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just died.
This little segment got me in my feels, but, like, everything else, like, yeah. So we'll see what happens. The Dark Order are heartbroken that, that he didn't say yes. MJF and Jericho are backstage. MJF mentions rats and orgies in a quick one-liner there. Very weird. He says, don't worry, the Inner Circle is fine about tonight. And Jericho says, I've made this decision, and I'm not worried. It's going to bring the Inner Circle closer, together. We're all sexy hooligans, and we're going to find out which tag team moves forward. There's no hard blood. There's no real bad blood here. This is just we need to get this sorted, and then we can move on. So we have a deal, a rule set in place. Jericho says that we will move on and continue as a unit. This won't break us apart. We've all agreed.
Yeah.
And that's later tonight.
And one of many appearances from Alex Marvez, who I'm changing my choice for worst broadcaster.
We forgot about him.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, he sucks.
He's terrible.
I think I gave him an honorable mention.
Yeah,
he's just not commentary, though.
He sucks. He's so bad.
He's really bad. I think that's the joke.
I mean, I think that's what they're leaning into, but I'm just
so bad.
Does this guy do shit backstage?
He must.
He's got to have another purpose.
He's got dirt on someone.
Because this isn't good. Remember when he was on commentary?
He's so bad. I think it was
like I don't know how he can be that bad just holding a microphone.
Yeah.
And having Jericho do the talking, yet you still suck at it.
Tony Schiavone's in the ring, and he introduces Sting. Sting comes out with his bat.
Yeah.
He's always ready. He's always prepared. That's snowing in Jacksonville, and he introduces Darby Allin, who retained the TNT title last week. Sting says, I just want to be the first person to publicly congratulate you, Darby. I wanted you to have a fair fight last week, and that's why I came out and helped you, and I see a lot of me in you, and I want to be here. I want to help guide you as much as I can.
You wear face paint too, so we're friends.
He pretty much says that.
Because I can't think of really much else that...
He was surfer.
One's on a surfboard, one's on a skateboard.
Yeah. Very strange.
They're about the same build, I guess.
Just say it. Just say it. Yeah, exactly. Just say it. You're his dad. Just say it. Just say it, Sting.
Like, you wear face paint and you're a bit of a loner. I wear face paint, I'm a bit of a loner.
Yeah.
Let's be face paint friends.
So, I want to congratulate you, but he's interrupted. You hear someone yelling, shut up. And it's Taz backstage with Team Taz on the mic. His son Hook with the man purse. Those things are popular. The fanny packs are in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he says, you got lucky, Darby. You fight dirty. We didn't realize Sting was going to use a belt to tie around and hog tie Brian Cage there. You're dirty. You're street fighters. You're disgusting. And we won't stand for it. We're a bunch of street fighters here. And Ricky Stark steps in. Clearly the street fighter of the group.
It was very deliberate because you've got Hobbs there looking mean, Cage looking mean, and even Hook, like as a kid,
like in a hoodie,
is probably more street than Ricky Starks. But I love they have Ricky Starks in his
nice shirt,
waxed chest, a nice shirt,
chain.
Yeah,
and he's like in his $500 glasses. He's like, I'm a street fighter. So yeah, maybe Ryu or Ken. They say that we'll fight dirty to match your dirty because we're not done with you. We're not finished with you. And they challenge them to a match. Now, this is where it gets a little gray here. It's like, well, wait a second. Are you challenging Darby to a match or are you challenging Darby and Sting to a match? Because it sounds like he's challenging them both. And then Darby ends with, well, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
Yes, I feel like we're getting some sort of tag team street fight involving Sting.
What the fuck? Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, they said he's going to do cinematic matches. Is this just going to be Team Taz against Darby and Sting?
In a street fight?
In a cinematic street fight?
In a street fighter match?
Street fighter match? Maybe.
This is weird, yeah. I know if you've seen Sting, like more so I guess the TNA days, he does a lot of crazy, stupid, hardcore matches, like gimmick matches. So, I mean... maybe he'll do some spots and crazy shit, but like really it protects him, allows him to do hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was a bit, when I heard Taz come out, was a bit like, oh, this is still going on. But then really, yeah, Darby won the match, but there is still this whole issue with Sting that you kind of do need to pay off. So I think we're going to get Sting wrestle a match pretty soon.
Well, we need some other people in this match then. Maybe multiple.
Well, it depends if it's 2-on-2.
Blood and guts.
Blood and guts. I mean, the fact that they were saying street fight makes me think it's going to be a street fight.
Well, he's got to get some friends. Cody? No, Cody's busy.
Cody's busy in like 3 feuds.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
Yeah,
this was just kind of still there. I like the direction they're going, but I think you could have maybe been more on the nose. Like, yo, Sting, why are you here? You keep talking and not doing anything. That's what he should have said. It's time you do something. We challenge you to a match. And then the whole, and instead of this like muddied, like,
well, it's just
because they're gonna stretch this out. Yeah, it's like, come on, you got to get to the point here.
It's so they can
stretch it.
I think they're stretching it, but it's Sting every week still coming out and not
doing anything.
It's a
60-year-old dude just coming out with a bat and going, "What's up?"
Yeah. This feud isn't really working for me. I'm sure the match will be pretty entertaining when it comes to it. I really enjoyed Darby Allin, Brian Cage last week.
Crazy, yeah.
I just feel it's very repetitive, this feud at the moment.
It just feels like it's been in this like limbo stage. We finally got the match, and then we thought, okay, well, it could be over. But realistically, yeah, he kind of got Sting's help. But whatever. I guess we're continuing it. Sure. I just want to see Sting take thumbtack bumps and stuff. I don't know. I don't really want to see it do that.
It's gonna. It'll be, I reckon, kind of boneyard style, but in a.
Didn't Sting have a boneyard match? He had a graveyard match with Vampiro.
But I mean more edited than that.
All right.
I'm thinking, the AJ Styles Undertaker match. I reckon that's what they'll probably go for with this street fight.
That would make sense with the Sting character. It baffles me that WWE did not go with that direction. That's the easiest way you could have ever delivered on that match is Sting Taker Cinematch. But it's too late now, so now they'll do it here with Sting doing these things. But yeah, just no more coming out with the bat and doing nothing. Do something. I want to see you fight. We go to the Young Bucks, and they are somewhere in Florida because they're entering Kenny Omega's house. They show up to Kenny's house, and they're welcomed by Michael Nakazawa, who looks like he's like a guy from the Apple Store. He's like, "Oh yes, welcome,
one of the geniuses."
Yeah, welcome to Kenny Omega's Genius Bar, and he's got an iPad and everything, like in a nice polo shirt. He's like, "Hello, yes, welcome." They then go into his house, and they're looking for Kenny, but Kenny's not there. And they go into his living room, and we see an oil painting, and it is of Kenny Omega and Don Callis, both shirtless with like an 8-pack abs. It basically looks like an ad for a male strip club is what this painting looks like.
It's and the proportions of the head to the body look very like this AEW game's gonna be. Kenny again with this huge
Giant Gonzalez
chest with his little head on top. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can talk. We have a painting of Kenny in our house, and it's Kenny as Jesus.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
He's not topless, though.
Yeah.
Next to Cyrus.
No. Yeah. The jackal. So the Bucks are laughing at this painting, like, what the hell is this? What is going on here? And Don Callis shows up behind them. This is all in Kenny's house. Nice house, by the way. Looks like it could be Don's house. He says, hey, you like what I got Kenny for his birthday? And they're like, birthday? His birthday's in October. He's like, yeah, well, it's never too early to give your friend a birthday gift. You guys know all about that because you were his friends for so long. Well, look, Don, says the Bucks. We've been looking for Kenny. We want to clear some air. And he's basically like ribbing them a little bit. And they're like, ribbing us, hey? Like last week when you ribbed us when we thought we were in a match. And he's like, look, I'm sorry. Just things are changing. Kenny's life is changing. And they say, look, we can't get a hold of him. He's not answered our calls or text us back or anything. Well, he changes his number a lot. We change his number, and he's just a little busy.
He's like, keeps on getting these marks calling him.
Yeah, he's over it. So the Bucks are kind of mad, and Don Callis tells Michael Nakazawa, who goes, I think he says Naka-san, says go to the dungeon. Take Alex Marvez. Yeah, Alex Marvez is just here.
Oh, I actually found this pretty funny because all of them at some point were like,
"Why are you here,
Alex Marvez? Why are you here?
Why are you in Kenny's house?"
And it's because I think that doesn't Tony Khan always want to try and explain why there's a camera somewhere? I think he said something about he doesn't want the fly on the wall kind of things. Yeah. He wants there to be a reason. So here it's investigator Alex Marvez with the hot scoop. But the Bucks were like, Alex, what the fuck are you doing just hanging at Kenny's house? Don's weird. The same. I did find it quite funny.
So Naka-san takes Marvez to the dungeon room, which I find funny that a Canadian wrestler has a house that has a dungeon, which has a wrestling ring and apparently wrestling room, training room. And the Bucks are like, hey, what's the deal, Don? What are you trying to pull here? And Don says, well, you've been friends with Kenny for 12 years, and it's been a good investment, but I'm trying to give you these checks. He's basically saying, leave Kenny alone. I'm paying you off to stop being Kenny's friend. And he writes them a check. They look at the check, and they're laughing, like, are you serious? What's this? And then they go, look, this isn't what we even made last week. Like, what are you talking about? So he's like, oh, my mistake. Yeah, you guys merch sellers. Yeah, let me add some more. And he writes them another check, gives it over, and they say, look, Don, we know you're the VP of that company, and we worked there before. These checks aren't good. And they ripped him up, and then they beat him up. What?
They kind of start just closing in on him, and then they go off camera, and it cuts to black, and Don Callis is just screaming. We'll get to it later. I wonder if they did or not. This wasn't great.
What was this?
I kind of enjoyed as I said, the Marvez stuff. I kind of found.
So
that
you
funny.
love Alex Marvez.
Love Alex Marvez.
You agree? You love Alex Marvez.
Just this. I find Matt's overacting off-putting at times. I don't find him. Their baby faces here, and when he's getting kind of irritated by Don and Kenny, I find him unlikable. Whereas Nick is just kind of stood there, and I kind of buy it a bit more.
Yeah.
Whereas Matt just reminds me of someone complaining about his meal when there's nothing really wrong with it. You know, just like it's just like it's the bun's slightly burnt. It's like it's cool. I'll replace your bun. Fucking chill. You know.
Okay. I understand what you mean.
Weird comparison, but there's just something I find really irritating with him.
They're better as heels.
Yeah, they need to go one way or the other, and I still find them kind of not particularly likable. I was kind of waiting for Callis to eventually write a check that they go, that sounds about right.
But he's at Impact. There's no way.
This didn't really do it for me.
No. I felt like the idea of them trying to find Kenny and the friendship is something that is a smart idea, and Don's kind of wedging in between there, clearly like taking advantage of Kenny Omega. I think in a different universe this would have worked, but just the way they execute the off-camera beating up thing is so lame. It's wrestling.
I think one of the problems is we're so used to, when we look at something like this, we're so used to being the elite with the Bucks. And I think at times they don't quite kind of know how to act maybe in a different style that's a bit more suited for TV. So I'm watching it and I'm going, is this meant to be something comedic? Am I supposed to take this seriously? And I think that's just an issue I have whenever I watch the Bucks, because I lean more towards being the elite. Whereas other characters, I know them more as wrestlers first. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, there's definitely something off with this. Like it's you guys have the machismo, you got the spunk and stuff, but sometimes it's like you're trying to go too far, like you're trying to play cool or something. Yeah. When you genuinely like are great, because everybody thinks you're amazing, so it's like you don't need to try to act that way for some reason.
Overacting.
Yeah, it's just a little strange. I did not like the screaming ending with Don Callis. I think I think I could have forgave the segment if it didn't have that, but I'm like, this was kind of silly. I think written better, this would have been better. Kenny dodging the Bucks and letting his boy do his work is
I like the story.
Yeah, it's good story. It's just not executed. They should have just super kicked him, and then it cuts and his glasses are broken.
I think he faked it. It was all off camera,
right?
And he knows where the blind spots are, I guess, in the house, because he's like backing up, and then he's going, "Oh no, leave me alone."
Okay, yeah.
Because it's very clearly makeup he's wearing later.
Yeah, okay.
And you go, right, well, is it just a bad makeup job and the Bucks did beat him up, or is he trying to get Kenny? That's what I think.
He's fooling Kenny. Oh my goodness. Yeah, very strange. But wait, there's more. Well, first we gotta get a painting made like that with me.
No,
and you.
we do not.
Me and you.
Okay.
Put it outside the house.
Just outside.
People come by, they go, "Whoa, these two live here." I'm gonna come in there. Pretty Peter Avalon. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got this match.
Yeah, well, we got a whole show. Pretty Peter Avalon. Do you know this guy?
He was Dark a lot. Yeah.
He was the librarian. And now he's pretty.
Now he's very pretty. Yeah.
And he's the guy who's been hanging out on the bed in the crowd.
Yes.
He's so pretty.
With his martini glass.
Yeah. Are they the bendy martini glasses like yours?
They could be. You know.
He might be a Hans Zimmer fan too.
They might be a Hans Zimmer. Martini glass.
Pretty Peter Avalon comes out. He's so pretty. He's going up against Cody Rhodes, who still comes out to that. He comes out to his normal entrance, but then the theme turns into the Snoop Dogg remix.
It's mixed so badly.
Yeah.
So badly. It's so jarring, and then they just suddenly turn downstate up a bit when it gets to the chorus.
I always turn downstate up.
Yeah. It's done badly.
Yeah, it's just strange. Like, as a music guy, I'm like, it's not that hard to make it all flow.
I've made better shit,
like,
and I've never been...
It's literally like they're taking the thing they made and then putting it over there. It's like, I think even if it was... I know it's supposed to be Snoop Dogg and stuff, but the Snoop isn't... It's not a good Snoop verse. Just play the beat, maybe. I don't know. Like,
it doesn't fit in. No.
Yeah. Not as good as our new BDElite theme.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which some people heard here on the show.
They did.
So... Pretty Peter Avalon is going up against Cody. On BTE, they have Peter Avalon quite on often, and a few weeks ago they had the joke where it's like, oh, I get it, because like you're pretty because like you're not pretty, and he's like, yeah, that's the gimmick, guys. Like, blah, blah, blah. So he's letting it be known like he's going for that direction. Bless him. Cody right away hits him with a crossroads. It's already over before it even began, but music hits. And here comes that Jade lady.
So this kind of was set up as like an unofficial time limit challenge kind of thing. Cody saying he beat Peter Avalon in under a minute and hitting the crossroads right away. It seems like he can do it. It felt like Jade's music came late.
Yeah.
Because Cody was
standing around.
Just standing, doing nothing. And you'd have thought he'd have been kind of quick enough to have just gone for a second crossroads or something until Jade comes out, but he's just stood around and commentary are going, why aren't you covering? Why aren't you covering? Covering, Cody. Out walks Jade.
Yeah, it was strange. But Jade comes out, she's there, and the ref is distracted too, which allows Pretty Peter to get up and low blows Cody. He now beats up on Cody as this match continues. He eventually hits a superplex. He locks in a single leg crab there. There's a spot where he goes for like a leapfrog, but he kind of fucks it up, and then it's either Cody almost falls on his knee here or something.
It's the classic leapfrog, but Cody lands right on Avalon's head. But then this played into the rest of the match, so it could have been a planned botch, or they could have just worked with it, because the leg was such a big part moving forwards. So I actually quite liked it. Like, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Realistically, if you're having a real fight and you try and jump over a dude's head, it's probably not going to work out.
Cody's good at that.
I always like, if whether deliberate or not, a botch happens, you work it into the match, because it's realistic to me.
I find Cody always has creative spots in his matches anyways, minus this stupid Jade interruption that didn't really work at the beginning of this match. But he usually does, like going back, like finishing with weird things and stuff. I guess even finishing in this one. He eventually hits the Cody Cutter on Peter here, a power slam, but as Excalibur says, not quite enough mustard on that one. Locks in the figure four, woo, and he's got Peter in the figure four, and Peter reaches over while locked in the submission and kind of slaps Cody a little bit, and Cody's so mad, and he's about to wind up to slap Peter, and Peter shakes his head and goes, no, not my face, and taps out. Cody Rhodes beats Peter Avalon.
I really didn't like this. I thought, I get what they were doing, kind of Jade putting Cody off his game, so Peter Avalon it actually became pretty competitive, but I just can't, the visual of watching Cody going competitive with this guy.
It didn't work for me.
It didn't work. And then
Bush League.
And then to actually give Peter Avalon enough where they're giving him hope spots. They've given him the low blow from the distraction, so you think, oh, they could be doing that thing where because of Shaq and Jade, Cody lost to this guy. But then he throws all that away because he doesn't want to get slapped in the face. It's like, I get that's what they're doing with his pretty
He's
character.
So pretty.
Just don't think it's the right guy to really do this with, especially when you've actually gone a little longer than we expect with one of the top guys.
I love, we've seen Cody and a lot of AEW like names and stars have matches against like more unknown people, and usually they make people out of these matches, because now you go, hey, that guy had a great match with such and such, or this person did this, and I thought, hey, you know what, maybe I'll be convinced that this guy's like pretty good. And as soon as the match started, I was like, the look alone is like, dude.
The visual is so much of it, and I know that's part of Peter Avalon's character. But when you see Cody with the blonde hair, he's beefed up a lot.
He's huge.
He looks like an old like 80s 90s star. He looks Hollywood, and then you've got this fucking guy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This actually kind of took me out of the show a little bit. I was like, really? Like, this guy is your king, and he's facing Pretty Peter Avalon. Sure, he's won a bunch on Dark.
Dark main event, I think this is kind of cool. You've got, like, Cody going a bit more 50-50 than he normally would with a guy like this, but still getting the win, drive a bit of story forward. But it was,
It was kind of lame, and I'm over this Jade thing. Like, no one cares about Jade. They want to see Shaq, which sounds so stupid because no one wants to see Shaq. But, like, you know, in storyline here, it's like, yeah, well, Shaq did his 1-time show-up thing and tape a bunch of things and prolong a feud, but he's not here. So it's like, are we getting Cody Shaq or what? Like,
eventually.
Like, it doesn't make sense. It should be Cody and Velvet versus Shaq and Jade, I guess. Like,
Probably.
but still, this is some WWE hokey shit where it's like, it's celebrities.
It's just the idea of it's been like hung over our head, but it's not been fleshed out enough. Like, next week, it's advertised Shaq is gonna say something to Cody, but I'm going, what is the beef here? I don't get what we're actually feuding over, and it just feels like maybe they don't have a date in mind for when this is going to happen. So
Revolution.
Just doing it here and there to build up to it. It's been strange.
I think it'll be at Revolution.
Yeah?
Yeah. It needs to be so he can move on and do something else. He's busy doing his Hollywood shtick.
Nothing's happened in this feud yet.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of silly. I know he's busy with his Go Home show. Sorry, what? The Go Big Show?
Go Big Show.
Which is so funny, that clip of Bert. Is it Bert Kirshner? He got a clip of last week's show trying to plug it on like one of his podcasts and live shows, and then it has Excalibur fucking it up, and then Jericho on commentary last week like correcting him but also fucking it up.
I think Excalibur fucked up again this week as well.
I think he may have done it on purpose
for sure,
because then the guy's like, what the fuck, and like, I'm calling Cody, and he calls Cody and stuff. But that guy has some great stand-up. So Cody's just become a WWE like Hollywood type guy. He's like, I'm a part-timer now, busy with my TNT shows. I think there's more story to be told with Cody maybe in the next half of the year, essentially. Cause,
there's always going to be story with Cody, just not particularly fond of this one.
Not the Jade Lady. I love the Jade Lady. I can't tell if I love or hate the Jade Lady. I needed to see her wrestle, I guess, because we have not seen
It's weird because I think she's got a lot of presence, but
she
there's
does.
something about her promo that isn't clicking for me.
Yeah. She's huge, too.
Yeah.
We go to FTR backstage with Don Tully. He says that FTR are numero uno. We just need the belts to prove it. And that's the bragging rights. But they're interrupted as they're having a drink by Jurassic Express. And Jungle Boy says, I'm sick of this. You say you're the best, but you're not. Last week, you taught me something. And that is, I could beat either one of you. So Cash. Oh man, I get their names messed up.
Dax is the bald lad.
Right. Okay. Right? Yeah. He said he's got a kind of a salt and pepper beard going on. He says, "Don't let the salt and pepper fool you. I'll beat you next week, so you're on." So they shake hands, and Luchasaurus says, "And next week there won't be any interference like last week, so we'll all be at ringside to make sure it's a fair fight." So next week it's Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Dax Harwood.
Well, I was thinking, because I was like, there's not going to be any interference, so we're all going to be there. So clearly there's going to be interference. Wouldn't it be better to just lock the lads together in a dressing room?
Cage match.
No, just be like, all right, guys, just stay in here. So then Lucha Man can just be like, yo, Cash, where you going? Sit down.
Yeah.
Watch them on the telly.
True, you could do that.
Yeah.
But we're going to have interference.
These guys have no restraints.
I like Jack Perry. I think it's interesting watching his evolution. He's already seems like he's getting like bigger almost. I don't know, like different.
I'm actually quite looking forward to this match. It's rare we see FTR in singles.
Yeah.
I think they're both pretty great.
They are.
And Jungle Boy's great. So I think this will be a really interesting clash of styles as well.
Yeah, I think it could be a little bit of a sleeper hit. I really do think so. I liked the look of all the guys here. I know they're a silly dinosaur team, and I know in our Patreon show, Was Next. We'll be covering Luchasaurus soon because he's already showed up, but he's not wearing a mask, is he? Yeah, very interesting. So that's next week. We have Jon Moxley. He is in action for the first time since losing the AEW title to Kenny Omega. Moxley comes down to the ring looking all fired up, jacked up, and he's going up against Nick Camarado.
Yeah.
Yeah, a newbie here. He looks like a caveman. Bruiser Brody type look.
Got Bruiser Brody kind of look.
Vibes.
Got a kind of, unfortunately, like a Jackson Riker like face and build as well.
Yeah, he's kind of a big boy here.
Big
yeah.
guy.
Right away, Moxley headbutts this guy, and they start this match. The commentary team are really pushing that no one in AEW wanted to take this match, and that's why this guy Nick Camarado, I'm gonna mess his name up a lot, was like, yeah, I'll do it, because the kayfabe wise, everyone's like, we know Moxley's pissed off, so nobody wants to get in the ring with him, but this guy did, and it cuts to Dustin and QT like ringside, like supporting this like new up and comer, and some of the Twitch chat are saying that he was let go from NXT in the past year, so there's another jump over here.
Nick Camarado?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Okay,
he's a big guy. So Moxley's beating the hell out of him. There's Camarado, who comes back with a running power slam and hits one of my favorite moves, the sushi. Sorry, not the sushi, but the ushi goroshi. And then Moxley comes back though after kicking out, hits his like ring rope rebound German suplex. Moxley beats the hell out of him, locks in the sleeper hold, and Moxley gets the win here. But nice little showing for Nick Camarado.
I think this is what I like in the. I think Avalon had too much. I thought this was enough here to make Nick Camarado look interesting and gave Moxley something to overcome, because even though Mox is a way better wrestler, fighter, just the size of Nick Camarado makes him dangerous. Yeah. So I thought this was a cool... The match wasn't too long, but I thought there was enough competitiveness and back and forth in it that I was interested, but still giving the win to Mox, obviously.
Yeah, definitely like showing off that this guy's like a new up and comer, and I think just his look is interesting. Kind of caveman vibes is what I got. But interesting little match. But after this, Moxley says, he grabs a mic and says, anything can happen in wrestling and around here, but it seems things are getting crazy around here, and I can't seem to keep track. Who's in the Bullet Club? Who's in Impact? I don't care. Kenny Omega and your frat brothers from Nashville, shout out Nashville, I will climb back up with every ounce, and I will bring the whole Nashville to Jacksonville. All roads lead through me. So he's saying, Kenny, no matter where you go and whoever you're hanging out with, you can't escape.
He'll take on everyone.
I'm the boogeyman, essentially, is what he's saying. You can't kill him. So are we seeing Moxley show up in Impact yet?
Possibly.
After kind of... listening to you and Andrew Thompson on Deep Impact chatting about the past few days, I don't think so. They sound really Bush League lately. I don't think he should show up.
I think Impact's from this week. I think Impact are in the right direction now.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think we need to see Mox on Impact to further this feud anymore. I think the way the character of Mox is like, look, I'm gonna fight you, and I'm here. I'm ready. Sign it. Sign the match.
Give me the damn match.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's cutting the promo here, and he wants Kenny. I think we're getting that rematch eventually down the line.
Revolution, I'd imagine.
So this was cool. Like, it kind of makes sense. He's mad and stuff. He squashes a guy here, and it's fine. I think he's great on the mic. We see the fam, Eddie Kingston and the crew, and it's announced that next week it's Eddie Kingston 1-on-1 against Lance Archer. And Eddie Kingston says, I don't prepare, I just fight. And he's going to do that next week. But in comes Lance Archer. He's like, you want to fight? And then they're going to fight. And everyone's like pulled apart here. And it looks like Eddie Kingston and Jake Roberts are getting into a little spat here, which I love. The intensity of both these guys. I think Jake is one of the best on the mic, too. And it's like both are like really kind of scary in their own right. And it's like they're kind of barking at each other here. I think I want to see more of that next week, more so than the actual match. But, that's next week. We cut to Kenny Omega in the shirt. In that shirt.
Oh, this shirt. Yeah. And the boots.
Oh, my God. The Ted Mosby boots.
Yeah.
So Kenny Omega is in this like purple. I don't even know how to describe this shirt. It's amazing though. I will say, whoever's picking out his shit is top. Like they are on top. I would.
It's definitely not him. I'd imagine.
It can't be. There's no way. There's no way. But it goes. It's the storytelling of. Remember when we used to shit on him for wearing like shit T-shirts and stuff? He still does. I don't know why he was wearing that Bullet Club Halloween thing.
Yeah.
You know why? I have a feeling to him, he's trying to say shit while what he wears. I have a feeling he wore that Bullet Club Halloween shirt because he's like, it's such a shit throwaway shirt, and that's what I think of this company. Like that's how I see him. Yeah. That's how I see it in the mentality of how he like portrays himself. But then he's here, he's the champ, and he's decked out in these tight pants, the cowboy boots,
crazy blue shirt.
Yeah, it's pretty great. But Don has bruises on his face. He's like, "Whoa, who did this to you?" And he's like, "No one, Kenny. Forget about it. Don't worry about it." He's like, "Wait, did Nick and Matt do this to you?" And he's like, no, don't worry. And then they kick out Alex Marvez, but Kenny is kind of shooketh. So more on that later. But you think it's makeup. It's clearly fucking makeup.
Well, I mean, obviously it's makeup. Yeah. This isn't a real bruise, but it's whether it's the character Don Callis has put on makeup to fool Kenny in thinking that the Bucks have beaten him up, or the Bucks did beat him up, and this is just a bad makeup job.
Yeah,
bruise.
It looked like makeup, but yeah. That contour. Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, the contours. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
or like
that's true.
He borrowed it from Pete Dunne.
It's also very quick for it to bruise to that color, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it normally go like a black first and then more of a yellow?
Yeah, true.
How many days ago was
this?
I don't know. But I like it. It's Callis just playing like the... Oh, I didn't mean to say their names.
Yeah,
All of that.
Yeah. He's such an asshole, this Don Callis. We have our next match. Top Flight and Matt Sydal, Pandas, versus Hardy Party. Impact Wrestling's Hardy Party.
Hardy Party.
Yeah, these guys are on fire. They have a tag team title match in Impact against not the Machine Guns, the Good Brothers. So
yes.
they're the number one contenders in
number
Impact.
One contenders, yeah.
Yeah. Private Party are now in Impact with Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy went over there with them, and you talked about it with Andrew Thompson, Deep Impact. But they showed up there. They talked some shit about how Matt Hardy was never really lost the tag titles over there. So, yeah, they were just teleported away from him and into oblivion. So Top Flight and Matt Sydal versus Hardy Party, all three in the ring here, even Matt Hardy. We're seeing a bunch of flippy shit, I'll call it, from both sides here. Obviously, both teams, Private Party, when Top Flight got signed and they started putting on some matches and their promos were like pretty green, but like all right. Private Party were sweating.
I think so. We
mentioned
mentioned
like,
this on the show.
No.
Like that's kind of their spot, like the up and comer rookie high flying tag team, and then you've seen kind of maybe a better version come along.
Like, fuck. So that's why they got to turn heel.
Absolutely.
So then there's definitely like some spots that weren't really clicking here with the crazy flips and moonsaults and more flippy shit. And JR on commentary totally does not like this. No. He's so quiet. And then he goes, they're like, oh, Excalibur's like, I don't know who the legal man is. And JR just goes, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is a runaway train. But like the way he said it was not like, this is a runaway train.
Yeah,
this is a runaway train.
They're just doing whatever they want.
Yeah, he was not. I actually
I find that in general with tag wrestling at the moment. I think the Lucha Bros are very guilty of this. It's not just these young guys.
Yeah.
Like so often, these tags just kind of fall apart just so they can do all their shit.
Yeah, this was one of them. There was some cool stuff, but it was definitely lost for a little while here. There's a spot where there's a triple leg crab from the baby faces, and then there's like some high angle cross bodies from people are flying all over the place. Darius hits a crazy Spanish fly at one point for a near fall. There's then suicide dives and topes from Top Flight. Then they hit the world's greatest tag teams, like the move where Shelton and Charlie Haas used to do. The guy jumps over onto the ropes. Yep. Never really know how that like hurts that much, but like, all right. Matt Hardy comes in. He's hitting side effects on all three opponents here. And then this spot where I just didn't know what was going on, where Mark Quinn of Private Party does this like breakdance thing, but it was not really.
This was so lame.
It wasn't really a breakdance. He just like
jumps, does the Michael Jackson like cross legs spin around, like kick behind him, and then did a roundhouse kick.
I was like, dude, you're in your ring gear
Tail
is
coat.
tails. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Mystery Men. Shout out Mystery Men. Definitely need to do that for a review. I still have it on Blu-ray. But in this movie, there's like gangs in the movie, and one of them is the disco crew or whatever, and they're all like disco. And every time they like want to shoot you or fight you, they like do unnecessary like disco spins and shit. Like that's what he was doing.
See it, like in Quen's head, he's like, "This is my The Rock elbow pad." Moment.
Yeah,
you know there's pageantry in wrestling. Scotty Too Hotty doing the worm, that kind of thing. And this is what he came up with.
He does a spin and then awkwardly does another spin to hit the kick, and it's like, dude,
maybe it will catch on.
I hope so. He needs to work on it. So he goes for that move, but I literally wrote, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah. It was lame.
But while all this is happening, the ref is distracted on the other side. Isaiah Cassidy brings in a steel chair and then smacks one of the guys off the top, drops him down, which allows Quinn to hit the shooting star press.
They have a look, so Quen kind of looks at Cassidy at first like, "Oh man, what did you do?" And then smiles. They both share this smile, so yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I'll follow up on that. I like what you did there.
And then they win the match. So turning heel here, Private Party, officially letting us know that they're the bad guys with Matt Hardy. He's definitely seeped into their brainwashing.
I think this works. They kind of played the heel tag team on Impact on Tuesday. Weird, though, that they're going to go up against the Good Brothers, who are heel, obviously. But I think this turn is needed. As we said, I think with Top Flight around, these guys have kind of been afterthoughts. And I think even something like that lame spin works more if you're a heel.
Yes, yes.
It's like, oh, these guys are so annoying. What is that thing?
Yeah.
So I think this was the right thing. I didn't really enjoy the match, though, unfortunately. I thought it was quite sloppy at times. I was kind of with JR on this one.
I know, how strange, but yeah, sorry, JR was kind of right. You need to have a flow.
I still don't think a commentator should be so obviously shitting on what they're seeing.
Yeah.
But this didn't really work for me at all.
Yeah, it didn't move the needle. I'd say this whole show kind of wasn't doing that for me. We go to MJF in the inner circle. He says, "Guys, tonight we have our match where all of us fight each other. But look, if I had it my way, this wouldn't happen. We are a family, and we need to be a family in order to succeed. So understand, I'm not a sociopath. I'm coming from a good place. I just want the best for the inner circle." And they're like, "All right." But Sammy's kind of like, you fucking. It's like Joe Pesci in Home Alone.
Yeah, I really love this story, actually, because we know that MJF is going to turn eventually. But the longer they drag it out, the more impact it's going to come. And I love that pretty much all of Inner Circle, except for Sammy, have accepted MJF now. So once you eventually have MJF win over Sammy, and you can maybe have a little tag run with those two or something, and MJF is fully integrated, that's when you do the turn. And Sammy's going to feel even more stupid because he knew it for so long, was saying it for so long, and he won him over. I quite enjoy this.
Yeah, that's definitely where they're going to go with this. I see. And MJF takes over, kicks out Sammy or something. But that match later, we go to our next match. It was originally supposed to be someone else here. Nyla Rose, I think. I forget who was supposed to be in this match against Layla Hirsch. But it's Layla Penelope Ford. JR on commentary. Yes, Layla Hirsch is 4'11", in case you're wondering.
Yes.
In case you're wondering. JR just loves to mention short people.
Yeah.
And now we have this match. Ford versus Hirsch. And we forgot to mention that Penelope comes out with her fiance, Kip Sabian.
Mm-hmm.
In the Miro fit, the Miro drip. What do we think of the Miro? This week he looked good. This fit
he normally looks good. It works for Miro.
Yeah, I think so.
I
would wear this.
Pull it off.
Yeah, I would wear whatever he was wearing. And then their butler, Charles Taylor.
Yes.
Chucky T.
He looks like a good butler.
He
actually,
does.
His hair, his nose, his physique. I think,
he's a good butler.
He works as a butler.
The Kentucky gentleman is a butler. Yeah. Charles Taylor, and he's not happy, but he's in his like tuxedo. What do the butlers wear? Tuxedos? What are the butler with tails? See, it makes sense for his suit to have tails, not Mark Quinn. Is he a fucking butler? No.
Yes.
So,
but he loves partying. Like,
so much
don't you wear tails when you go to the club? Back in the day,
chasing
tail with your tails.
So we start off this match: Ford versus Hirsch, and Charles is on the outside. Orange Cassidy's in the in the crowd, just watching in disgust that his buddy's got to go through with this shit. It's how we all feel. He's kind of sitting in like Bernie Sanders out in the crowd, just sitting there by himself. There's a cross arm breaker from Layla Hirsch early on here, trying to get Penelope to tap out, but Kip Sabian at one point makes Chucky sweep the leg of Layla, and he doesn't want to do it, but he did with the cartwheel into the elbow, but Layla gets her knees up here. This match kind of falls apart a little bit for me too here. It was a little lost and a little like, okay, go through the motions of what we're supposed to do, but without like actual like a flow, I thought. And then there's some sort of move where Layla makes Penelope do the splits and then hits her with a German suplex, hits her with these double boots, and then eventually hits a tope to the butler, to the bad guys on the outside here. But it's when she gets back into the ring, it's Penelope who drops her and like gets on top of her. I didn't even see what move she hit her with, but she pins her. And it's Kip who's holding Layla's boots so that she can't kick out of the pin hold, and Ford pins Hirsch.
This didn't really do much for me at all. I quite like Layla Hirsch. I think she's quite different and stands out. You've got this kind of this suplex machine. I could see her with Team Taz at some point.
Right. Okay.
I think if they wanted to put a bit more into Layla Hirsch rather than just being someone to fill a slot for random matches, I could see her with Team Taz being the kind of outcast, but Taz sees something in her with the kind of her wrestling style. This Penelope Ford unfortunately doesn't do a whole lot for me with her ring work. And this was just there. And I think after a couple of sort of questionable things on this show, it kind of soured me a bit more.
It all falls apart is what happened here. After the match, it's Miro on the microphone who says, Charles, it's kind of like X-Men, Charles, you should have killed me when you had the chance, Charles. He says, Charles, look, I know you're upset, but I can be a nice guy, Miro says. Let's let go of the past. Look at where you can go. And he has a mic and he says, look at this. And he refers to Orange Cassidy as a George Michael wannabe. You go, George Michael. George.
Yeah.
You know who? Not Arrested Development, George Michael.
I know who George Michael is.
Joking. I really just love
I was
Last
just
Christmas.
trying to think. I'm like, is he a George Michael wannabe?
In the Faith music video, yeah, I think that's what he's referring to. Because the Faith
denim,
music video with the denim, he's like,
I guess.
He says, I want you, Charles, to tell everyone, grab this mic and tell that George Michael wannabe, tell everyone that Miro is your new best friend. And it cuts to Orange and he's like still emotionless, but like you could tell, even subtly, he's like, don't do it. He says, Miro's my new best friend. And he like doesn't want, he says it, but it's over. Orange Cassidy in the crowd just slowly sits up from his seat, puts his hands in his pockets, turns around, and walks out. I cue the Incredible Hulk theme from the old days, but just a sad shot of Orange walking away.
Yeah, this feels very WWE to me. There's some fun to be had, I guess, with Chucky as the butler, but for week one, I found it weird making the focus kind of this with a Penelope Ford match. Again, the criticisms we have of the women's division are not being represented enough and not putting on good matches. And the one women's match on this show, it's kind of focusing more on Miro and Chuck. Maybe you could do some fun backstage skits and on location shoots and things with these guys, but this isn't really doing it for me. Just please get the wedding over with. Please.
2 weeks.
Just get married.
2 weeks is
guys.
the wedding. Yeah. I didn't like this at all. I don't like. I don't know if I've mentioned it on this show, but I don't like Kip Sabian. I don't know if I've mentioned that. Have I mentioned that? Kip Sabian is just not good. Like, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but like, holy shit, dude, I really don't like you. Okay, I'm not alone on this. I actually find him very annoying.
He's very annoying.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, just the best thing about him is Penelope Ford, and after watching her wrestle match after match, that's diminishing too.
Yeah.
I want them to be good. I think there's something that could work here, but it's just totally not. I absolutely hate it. The best thing about this was not even Chucky T in this thing. Just the shot of Orange walking away, the sad Orange.
I just want Miro to be like at the wedding. This is stupid. This is all sucked. He kills the priest. He kills Chucky. He kills Kip. He kills Penelope, and then it's just I'm a fucking brute now. Fuck Twitch.
The Twitch brute. I guess we'll see what happens at this wedding. We have a backstage segment where it's the Good Brothers, and they're attacking Penta. They're attacking him, taking him out, and Kenny's there. He's beating the hell out of him. He starts beating him over the head with it. Busting him up, and he's holding the boots there in his tight pants. And, So what's going on with this? Because I'm seeing that maybe it's a way to take Penta out of the match next week, so it won't be Moxley and the Lucha Bros against Kenny and the Good Brothers. Was this actually Pentagon?
This wasn't Pentagon.
This wasn't?
No. People have shown like the photos and the tattoos not being there.
What?
And stuff like that.
Oh my god.
This was a guy just playing Penta.
What?
Yeah.
No, come on.
Yeah.
I saw rumblings of it on Twitter, and I was like, wait, that can't be right.
But like, why would you get him in for this? Really?
Yeah,
it's
but
a dude in a mask who wears long sleeves and gloves. Like,
well, I'm confused because they announced Mox and the Lucha Bros against them, but
they announced Mox, Pac, and Phoenix.
Okay, so he's taken his spot now. Okay, right. Okay, well that's fine. I hope Penta's all right. Disappearing off TV here, but I didn't realize it wasn't Penta because I'm just like, okay, they're beating up Pentagon, but like, cool. But then I was more focused on the boot when he's holding up the boot, like, I fucking killed him with this boot.
Yeah, I can get over that. It's not Penta. It's fine. They needed to write him off for whatever reason, and we still got a match that sounds like it would be pretty good.
Well, it's also next week. Well, wait a second. Is that's at Beach Break? Sorry, that's not next week.
That's at Beach Break?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's the main event of Beach Break, which is that 6-man tag. Kenny and the Good Brothers versus Pac, Ray Phoenix.
That's right.
Yeah. And Moxley. Next week, it's the Good Brothers teaming with the Young Bucks to take on the Dark Order. So that's very interesting. That kind of prolongs that, what's going on with the Bucks and them. So there could be some fishy things going on. If maybe that match actually won't happen, or something like walkouts, or who knows. And they've also have Beach Break, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. And they're going to have this Battle Royal, Tag Team Battle Royal. They love Tag Team Battle Royal.
Battle Royal.
They just do. And the winner of that gets to face the champs at Revolution for the tag titles. So much going on at Beach Break and stuff. So, and they announced a women's tournament as well, which seems that it's going to be crowning like a #1 contender worldwide tournament.
Yeah, they had the flag of Japan on this picture as well for this bracket. So maybe we're getting some of the Japanese talent back. Riho, Emi Sakura.
I saw Emi Sakura tweeting last night saying she's in. She wants in.
She wants in. Great. I've missed her.
Yeah, I know you have. Isn't she?
Ayo!
Ayo! Wow, I forgot that was a thing. What about
2020 was a bad year.
Fuck, you know who I miss?
Lacked Emi Sakura.
You love Emi Sakura. I miss Aladdin pants, genie pants.
Oh, Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah.
Was that it? I don't want to.
Someone in the chat's gonna let me know who that was, but you know who I'm talking about. She's like the big poofy pants. She's crazy. She's great.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you mean.
She's awesome.
I just said her name.
Yeah, I think that's her name. I don't remember her name. Someone will let me know. So that's all happening. I think maybe that's pretty good. Get a tournament. We need a new champion. I'm sorry, Riho, but I mean, I'm sorry.
More women's matches
Hikaru.
just on the show, or is this all going to be on Dark and a separate YouTube show like last time?
It should be on this show.
It should be.
Yeah, as much as their women division's a mess, this could somewhat go in. I want Statlander back. I think
if they can like spread the vets amongst the like greener talent there, it could be fine.
Yeah. It's Yuka Sakazaki.
Yes,
You were right.
I was
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Magic Girl. Someone says I love her. Main event time. It's the Inner Circle versus the Inner Circle versus the Inner Circle. It's the Sexy Hooligans, or MJF and Jericho, with their new theme song. It's MJF's theme intro, but sped up a bit, mixed in with Judas.
Was this mixed better than the Snoop Cody track, which is a real track?
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas this was literally just fading the two over each other and sounded way better. I guess MJF's easier because it's just a beat that goes underneath.
Yeah, they changed the tempo
Yeah.
of the MJF one to make it a lot faster to match the Judas thing, and then it comes in like the piano comes in do 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 mix. Oh, the joke last week was the tag team slut. Jericho had the Jera show mix with the Big Show with mixed break the walls down Big Show thing. Like he always had mixed themes and stuff. It's funny.
I like a mixed theme when it works.
Yeah, when it does.
I always loved Kane doing the red flames as X-Pac was doing the green flames. It was cool.
Telling people to suck my
his
dick.
dick.
So Jericho and MJF against Sammy Hagar, and they got a little insert, like it looked like a cameo of
just cutting out the corner bit that says cameo
of Sammy Hagar, like fucking rock. You could say legend.
Well, he's mates with Jericho.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, so.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, I'm proud of you guys. And I fucking popped for this, actually. I love this. So they're coming out, and the last team, Proud and Powerful. So all members of Inner Circle are going to fight, but Wardlow's just on the outside. He doesn't have a partner, unfortunately.
Poor guy.
Odd man out here. It starts off, this is kind of interesting because ever since AEW started officially, like the Dynamite and stuff, all these guys have been tied together. So they really haven't fought each other. So it's the first time you're kind of seeing Jericho take on Sammy and Proud and Powerful fight Jericho.
Even in battle royals and stuff like that, they've always been a team, and they haven't ever done the turning on the teammate thing and being like, oh, sorry, mate, have they?
Yeah.
So it was quite cool, actually, seeing these guys mix it up.
MJF is in, but he's like, no, Jericho, you can start. So Jericho's in, and he's wrestling Sammy here, but Sammy's kind of bringing it to Jericho here, which I like. Sammy has this like chip on his shoulder, like I gotta prove thing, and he's like just on fire, beating up Jericho. Proud and Powerful tag in, and now they're beating up on Chris Jericho, hitting double team moves on him, and everyone seems to be fighting. Hagar beats up Jericho. Everyone's beating up Jericho, and Excalibur's like, am I the only one to like real, or is it Tony who's like, he hasn't tagged in, he's not tagging in, but finally MJF tags in, but he's taken out by Hagar with this huge like spine buster, and Sammy comes in to hit like a standing shooting star press. Goes for a shooting star to the outside, lands on his feet, but super kicks Jericho. There's then Proud and Powerful who are hitting like topes and conhilos and all sorts of stuff. There's then this crazy poison Rana from Sammy on MJF, just spiking him. And then the Spanish Fly from the Spanish God. But Jericho, I think, goes to... And it's Hagar who kind of puts a stop to that. There's then another standing star press, but Jericho now is up and goes for the lionsault. And this is kind of a scary moment because he hits the lionsault, but did he really hit the lionsault?
Conked his head on the way down as well.
It looked very scary. Yeah, so the lionsault, obviously you're running against the ropes, and then you jump off he usually does the middle rope, and then moonsaults backwards onto the guy. He's done it since like days of him wrestling in Mexico, but obviously he's a lot older now. His body's a little different.
We've seen him do this so much though recently as well. I can see Jericho's very next match, he's going to try and do it. He said on Twitter like he's going to do it twice.
Yeah, next week I'm doing it twice.
Yeah, I think people, his age, his kind of size now, he messes up, and I think people are all at him being like, oh, he needs to retire and stuff. Mistakes happen. Yeah. We'll see.
It's very rare.
If he messes this up another time, maybe, but I think he'll be fine.
It's very rare Jericho botches.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched Botchamania, I love catching up on Botchamanias, and it's very rare to see Jericho in that show. It's usually not his fault.
Yeah.
I remember, I think the one that I would say, when he swung that chair at Chris Benoit's head, you're just like, dude, you just fucking nailed him with the chair. But yeah. I
kind of think as soon as he can't do this and has to retire this, it's like, oh, Jericho, it's over now. Do you know what I mean?
He's still got that drop kick out in the corner.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's why he changed his move.
Though, isn't
that's why he's got just an elbow.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah, he realized that. Well, like, what's like all these kids gonna do when they're older? All the wrestling we watch now is all flippy shit.
Casey Catanzaro.
Yeah, what's Casey Catanzaro?
When she's 50.
She'll still be doing it, I think. Yeah, she'll still be doing the WTF.
There'll be another rotation in it.
Yeah.
She just lands on whatever each time.
See what happens.
Flip it in the air.
I'll just tuck and roll. So Jericho kind of bumps his head here, but it seems like he's fine. He does like land on top of him, but it's like, man, like yikes. So I know he's gonna be practicing this one. There's then a code breaker on Ortiz for a near fall. Sammy hits this huge high angle swanton bomb, but it's broken up at 2. And then Sammy is about to hit MJF with the go to hell, the torture rack into the knee lift. But Wardlow gets up on the apron for the first time in the match, distracting him. He hits Wardlow with MJF, but MJF squirms out of it, rolls up Sammy, and uses the tights. And MJF pins Sammy Guevara. And Jericho and MJF are the new tag team going forward in the Inner Circle.
Yeah. I found this quite enjoyable. I think Proud and Powerful are so underused. Like, why are these guys... And now they're not even the tag team with the Inner Circle, so what's going on? But just watching these guys, I'm like, I miss these two. Why are they not tagging more? Sammy, for me, was the star of the match. I thought he was fantastic. I find him so entertaining to watch. He's got the right mix of the high flying with the character work, but also he doesn't just rely on the cool spots. I think there is more to him. I love MJF as well, winning, and then he's been going back and forth on Twitter since, being like, "Oh, good try, buddy," and all that.
Right. But he cheated on his own buddy. But like
everyone, but it's in a circle. They all cheat.
Yeah, like, everyone in this match was doing their shtick to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, the ring was blocked, the bat was blocked, but not getting roll ups and distractions like this. Sorry, but yeah, he's the heel.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the match. I was tired by this point. I didn't think it was a great show, to be honest.
Me too.
And I was pretty tired watching this match. I soon perked up to watch Art Attack after, but
and Florida Georgia Line.
But I thought it was a solid enough main event, and as you said, it was kind of cool seeing these guys mix up for the first time.
I thought so. I really liked seeing Sammy wrestle Chris Jericho. I thought that was really cool. I see stars with Sammy Guevara,
100%.
Definitely, and he's someone who doesn't need to do the 630 down the line in his career when he's older. Like, he has all these other...
He's got all these other cool stuff.
He's all these other stuff. I thought it was cool seeing certain guys go at it that we haven't seen. And
him hitting his... It's not the GTS. What is the Feast Your Eyes move he does? Yeah. He hitting that on Jericho is a pretty big deal.
It looks cool.
Because Jericho and him were so tight for so long. And for him to do his finisher on Jericho... Also, Jericho's so much bigger. To actually be able to hit it was pretty impressive.
So, yeah, obviously everyone's going to just talk about the lionsault thing. But, like, I think going forward, as he gets a little older, he perhaps won't do this move as often.
Yeah.
Like, save it, essentially. Overall, I didn't really like this episode of Dynamite.
No, I didn't.
To be honest, I found it quite boring. The highlight, like I mentioned earlier, was Hangman Page and his emotional, "I'm sorry, I can't."
It felt a little going to the playbook this week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when we watch an episode of Raw or SmackDown and it's like, oh, okay, we're doing the partners that don't get along. We're doing the Photoshop thing on the Titantron. We're doing a butler gimmick. Like it all felt a bit like just, we got to write a show this week. Just do this classic wrestling thing and do this thing. It didn't quite work for me.
Brandon from New Jersey in the Twitch chat says that Chris Jericho is looking like Greg the Hammer Valentine from 1995. But also Chris Jericho is...
Greg the Hammer Valentine from 1995. You could just say Greg the Hammer Valentine. He looks exactly the same.
Brandon from New Jersey in the Twitch chat also says Chris Jericho was looking like Mama Fratelli from the Goonies. And oh my God, I cannot unsee it. I can just see it in my mind now. It's the old evil mob lady from the Goonies.
Mama Fratelli.
That's on point, my friend. That is on point. Overall...
Yeah, I see it.
Hey, you guys. At least it's not Sloth. I much preferred NXT to AEW.
I think I have for the last few weeks, to be honest. I think NXT top to bottom has been more entertaining recently. It only takes a small thing, though, and AEW will be right back at the top, I think.
I felt AEW didn't do a good job of kind of prolonging the story, the continuing the stories and moving forward. As they've announced Beach Break, but I'm like, okay, but this week just was like a holding pattern here, where NXT is moving forward a bit more, where we've totally said the opposite in different weeks and stuff. But
sure.
I thought it was quite apparent that NXT had the better show for my liking, at least. We had the fight pit, which was like just all sorts of ridiculousness as well, but in a good way. But then I think it's that Lucha match.
That's
Lucha
my
House
match
Party.
of the night
Yeah.
over both shows, Lucha House Party
It was.
versus Imperium.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it yet, I recommend it. If
Yeah, it was
you've got
pretty good.
15 minutes, throw it on.
Because nothing match wise, I like the main event with the Inner Circle, but it didn't it just didn't do it for me, I guess.
The Inner Circle match.
Like, it was good, but this whole episode kind of felt I didn't need to watch it.
Also, I thought Jake Hager was good in this match. I didn't mention that, but
True.
I thought he had a really good hot tag, and I think maybe tag matches are more what I'm going to be interested in seeing him moving forward. Again, shame he didn't win, because I guess they're not the tag team. But
Neither is Proud and Powerful.
neither is Proud and Powerful. But I think Jake is someone who, character-wise, I've started to enjoy a lot more in recent weeks, but the wrestling still isn't quite there for me. And I saw glimmers of it tonight. I think it can work.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Beach Break, and I guess we'll see that triple threat. The 6-man tag, which would be crazy for that. And then, of course, who doesn't love a wrestling wedding? Can't wait for that.
Can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah. So also some other things is Private Party. They're going to be facing the Good Brothers at this next. I think it's the day before Takeover. Heartbreaker.
Yes. Okay. So that is the 13th.
Yeah, that'll be a TNA like special where it's
Impact Plus.
Yeah, tag team title match there with Private Party and stuff. So who knows what other crossovers we'll have with Impact Wrestling, and of course listen to Deep Impact with you and Andrew Thompson next week to talk all about that. Who knows will show up?
Who knows? Who'll
Private
show up.
Party.
Yeah.
Steel chairs.
I imagine we'll get Private Party again.
Yeah.
Because they'd have been in this set of taping.
But they'll be
so
heel
why
now.
not? But they're
Full
heel now, yeah.
Full heel, not just Matt being heel. Full heel. So we have that to look forward to. And we know the Beach Break is doing a wedding, and we're trying to put together our Patreon month for February. And we have some ideas about wrestling weddings.
Top 5, perhaps.
Yeah, moments of love.
Moments of love in wrestling.
So look forward to that next month as well. But that was AEW. That was us talking about it. Thank you for listening and supporting, whether you're here live on the Twitch or listening via the Patreon. The BDElite show, this show, will be available for free on the free feed in like 2 weeks. We're going to change it over and start airing it there on the NXT feed there. So, but doesn't mean you won't be getting some great shows on the Patreon.
You'll always get the best shows on the Patreon.
Yeah, this week we got Royal Rumble 95 review and our top 5 Royal Rumble moments. 2 different shows out this weekend, so look forward to that. So thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate the Twitch room hanging out with us on Thursdays. Check us every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern time for our AEW reviews.
Absolutely, and if you're in the Twitch room right now, stick around because we're gonna do a raid and spread the love.
Always spread the love.
Always spread the
Twitch.
love, guys.
Yeah.
Yep, and then join us tomorrow night, 6:30 before SmackDown, because Mike Hogan and John Cena are gonna talk some movies, talk some TV. So much to happening in the BDE world. So just check out our socials.
Hot take?
Yes.
Hot take?
Go for it.
WandaVision?
Yeah.
Little bit of waste of my time.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think I really liked it. I think people are so impatient these days. We got 40 minutes of a show. People are like, fuck this, it's sitcoms.
I love sitcoms.
You're someone else who though is like, too many superhero films. Too many superhero things. And this is something that broke the mold.
It didn't necessarily hit superheroes for me. It just kind of hit it just was kind of bored. It's kind of bored.
I quite enjoyed it, but I think it was very early days.
I'll give it that. I'll still watch it and check it out, but I was just like, I watch a lot of Bewitched at work. Just watch Bewitched. Just watch I Love Lucy. Just watch The Vacationers.
Well, they're trying to do more than that, aren't they? They're going into this Wanda's world that she can create, I guess, with her powers. I like that they're not just doing another superhero thing, because we've seen them all. I think they're taking a risk and trying to cross genres and stuff, and I like that. Like, are we eventually going to get a Friends episode? You know, because they're kind of going through the decades, it seems, of sitcoms. I'm not going to judge too soon. I enjoyed the first two. They're not like fantastic, but I think maybe after we've seen it all together, maybe it will make sense a bit more. But we'll be talking more about that tomorrow.
Yeah, so again, join us on the Twitch stuff at Up Next Podcast on Twitter, Instagram for all the updates of all we do, because we usually tweet and stuff when we're about to go live for any, whether it be gaming or random shows like that or watch-alongs and all that stuff. But we love the community we got here, and we appreciate it. So thank you for listening, everybody. Take care of yourselves. We'll be back next week, and all the stuff, you know where to find us. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And happy birthday, -1.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.